much as we have Goodyear providing aerial coverage to reach the end zone, there's been a lot of that today. All you need is drive. Goodyear, more driven. So 14 touchdowns, 7 by each team, 1 field goal each, minute 54 to go. Just an incredible moment for Utah. A couple of penalties aided it on Ohio State, PIs, but a 57-yard drive. And when all appeared to be lost, Bryson Barnes drove them down the field and got him even. But here comes Ohio State. Look out! Ibuka sets the Buckeyes up at the 45. Whatever it's taken every guy in the roster all season long, it's been the theme. Barnes looks pretty calm over there.
He really does. You know, he looks like a guy that's well prepared.
Will he have more football to play? Can Utah get a stop? Can they get this to overtime?
And you look at a minute 47. Remember Ohio State burned a couple of timeouts earlier. I remember thinking, boy, you wonder if that may catch up to them when they were down. Now at a tie game, as quickly as they strike, I don't even think they're concerned about that. They're more concerned about trying to score and work a little clock.
Stroud, Smith-Njigba sidesteps a tackler who wrestled down at midfield as he adds to a monster game.
I don't think you'll see a lot of urgency at all from Stroud. You know, I don't think they're, you know, you're going to press. There's no reason to with how quickly they've been able to move around.
Ultra reliable field goal kicker, only missed one all year, and they're going to only have to move it about 20 yards to be in Noah Ruggles' range. They're thinking that. First down carry inside the 45 for Henderson. Most in any bowl game in terms of receiving yards.
It's a night he will never forget the rest of his life. Ohio State fans will never forget, depending on how it ends, especially.
Protection for Stroud. Dumps it down again. Henderson was left alone over there, and he picks up 9. Knocked out of bounds, very close now to field goal range.
Morgan Scalley, the defensive coordinator, just trying to prevent the big plays. He's keeping those safeties deep. He's got 2 safeties deep, trying to match up underneath. Nobody picks up Henderson, and he can pick up a ton of yards after those short throws. Already close to field goal range in a blink of an eye. They're not even to a minute left in the game.
Henderson again. First down, and they're in field goal range. He stays in bounds. That's obviously the directive you're talking about, Kirk.
Yeah, Tafua lines up outside. Nice call by Ryan Day to anticipate he's going to be a pass rusher getting upfield. And what do? They just run underneath that with, again, a very quick back in Henderson and pick up big yards. Look at this. I mean, very methodical, taking their time.
Stroud has plenty of time. And fires. Smith-Njigba makes the catch. Knocked out at the 12, 36 seconds left.
He was wide open the entire time he ran it. I'm surprised they're not trying to jam him, trying to reroute him. Instead, they're giving him a cushion, trying to keep him in front. The problem is you give him a two-way go. He can go inside and outside, and he's building up momentum off the line of scrimmage. They're not walking up on him because of the fear of what he can do in one-on-one coverage. But a lot of space for him to work underneath.
It's tremendous to watch this quarterback. So criticized, so tough in himself after that loss to Michigan. So many critics howling. Come back home and lead this kind of performance as Henderson is muscled down at the 2. Clock running inside of 30.
Yeah, and it's the poise that he plays with, Chris, right? The poise in these big moments, the accuracy we've seen, but I think it's leadership.
And Utah choosing not to use their timeouts. And this is just going to be in the hands of the Ohio State offense if they can crack the end zone or Noah Ruggles for a virtual extra point to win it. There's Barnes who had a tremendous moment. Was hoping that he could go back out there in overtime, but Ohio State right down the field.
Yep.
Stroud talked about the fact that he came to some UCLA games as a kid. He'd never seen a Rose Bowl games. This is a brand new experience for him. And coming off that Michigan game, Ryan Day say maybe it's going to be one of the most important occasions of his life. He can learn and grow from that. This is his response to that.
Yeah. When you're the quarterback at Ohio State and things go well, there's not a better place to be. And when things don't go well, you're going to be criticized. You and the head coach are going to take the majority of the criticism. He's felt that. And I think he's really grown through that. Any quarterback who becomes a superstar and goes on to play on Sundays goes through that. I remember when Trevor Lawrence went through that after his freshman year, won the national championship. He came back that next year and things weren't as good early, but he really developed and grew. And I think we've seen that with C.J. Stroud going through it.
Here comes Earl Ruggles. Grew up an Ohio State fan. His grandfather, Homer, was a season ticket holder. He dreamed of playing for the Buckeyes. Didn't offer him. Went to North Carolina. Lost his job there in 2020. Transfers back to Ohio State. Has been almost flawless in his career. And now has a 19-yarder to win the Rose Bowl. And does his job. And somewhere, his grandfather is aware of what Noah has done. That was the punctuation mark. A lot of hard work to get there, but a nice moment for him. 9 seconds to play.
9 seconds to play. And the first thing you're thinking about is Britton Covey and what he can do with the ball in his hands. And I'm sure Ryan Day is going to communicate, we're not kicking to 18.
Interesting that they chose to kick the field goal there. On 2nd and 1, just a couple yards away, the way they've been moving the ball down the field, they could have basically
without a timeout,
no timeout.
Just to be safe, I think the kicker's been so reliable all year. I don't know about all this at the end when he waves to the, but he made it.
Solid technique. Yeah, it was only 19 yards, but he is 20 of 21 this season.
See if they hold on these last 9 seconds. But they were down 14-0 in the first quarter and 35-21 at half.
They were down 14 points 4 different times in the game.
And again, I just keep going back to that question. After they lost to Michigan, after they didn't make it to the playoff, they had the opt-outs. Is Ohio State interested in the Rose Bowl? I think after watching 4 quarters of football, I think we can all collectively say, yes, they're very interested in playing in the Rose Bowl.
27-10 is the scoring edge for Ohio State after halftime. Not going to give Covey a chance, are they?
That's why I said, are they going to kick?
Yes, they are. Wow. And Covey already one electric move, reverses field.
Going back to the
lateral day, and he will be brought down. It's a scrum for the football. Picked up, but no, it's going to be down right there. 0-0 on the clock. That's it. An unforgettable Rose Bowl as Ohio State, shorthanded, fights from behind all night. Utah leads for 45 minutes of this game. Sadly, Cam Rising, the leader of this team, knocked out of the game, not able to finish. Who knows what would have happened? Kincaid made the catch to tie it. And Utah's season of resolve and resilience ends in disappointment, but plenty to be proud about today.
Incredible year for these two teams. The roller coaster rides that they've both been through, very different stories, but they both laid it out here on this field today and played 60 minutes of football and battled through some adversity throughout it. And at the end, Ohio State ends up by 3 in a winner.
Stroud's triumphant homecoming game to Southern California. Brilliant game by the Texans, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Holly?
These guys are so excited over here. I think everybody focused so much on who wasn't playing in this game. How did you and your fellow wide receivers decide to change and let people know who was playing?
I mean, we just got a great group of individuals. We're bonding. Zone 6, I mean, next guy's up. That's just how we always feel. And, it's exciting. I'm excited, for the young guys to play. And we stepped up, and that's all we can ask for.
You continue to make play after play after play. You have set a Rose Bowl record, Jackson. How in the world did you keep doing it time and time again?
I'm just blessed by God, to be honest. Opportunities came my way, and it's what I prayed for, so I'm not really surprised. I can't be surprised for what I prayed for, so I'm just really blessed right now.
All the guys were mobbing you, hugging you, and you kept saying, we did this, we did this. How hard was it to finish to the final bell?
This was a must-win for us. We had a tough loss last game, so this was a must-win for us, and our guys did it. I mean, we fought back, and I'm just very happy for our team and Buckeye Nation.
I think everybody's gonna be excited about next year too, Jackson. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chris.
Didn't feel like must-win early, but boy, they found some resolve. You said the defense. I'm sure they got to talk you to at the break, and C.J. Stroud came within 3 yards of an all-time passing yard record for any bowl game. Ty Detmer Byron Leftwich threw for 576. He throws for 573 tonight.
And to me, it was the way he did it. I mean, it was the poise and the leadership and the accuracy and the way he went through a lot of adversity. He had to break in a bunch of young guys around him. He didn't blink. He didn't blink one snap tonight. And how fitting for him after everything he's been through this year to put an exclamation point on his 2021 campaign. And it gives you a little bit of a taste, as you just heard from Jackson Smith-Njigba, of what's to come for this Ohio State offense next year.
He's the Capital One rewarding performance. Finished 4th in the Heisman Trophy. He says, I want to come back. I want to win one. Gives you a taste of what he could do.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed that all year.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Smith-Njigba catches 3. Marvin Harrison Jr. filling in. He catches 3. Heartbreak for those Utes defenders. You saw Rising. That was tough to watch him walk out of the tent into the locker room, unable to go. We certainly hope he's okay. Tiffany has Ryan Day.
Coach Day, your team hit the reset button after halftime and kept fighting back. What impressed you most about the way they run the Rose Bowl?
Well, a bunch of guys made a decision at halftime. You know, we talked about how a couple years ago we were playing in the Big Ten championship game against Wisconsin, and a bunch of guys in the locker room stood up and said, we're going to play better in the second half. That happened here. And for us to play the way we did, down a bunch of guys in this game, and to come back and show that builds unbelievable momentum for next year, and really some gutsy performances across the board. And great to send our seniors out the right way.
And you've got C.J. Stroud coming back for you next year. You said after that loss to Michigan that he had a different look in his eye for the past month. He was in a different place. What did he show you tonight?
Guts, grit. And that's something that, you know, comes with time, and you saw it here tonight. He really prepared hard, and he wasn't going to be denied. He played his tail off, and a bunch of guys did. So did Jackson. You know, so did a bunch of guys up front. How about some of the young receivers stepping up in a big way? Thought our tight ends played well, offensive line played well. You know, we obviously gave up way too many points, but we got some big stops at the end, and great to get this win.
And with Jackson and the way he went off tonight, I know you all needed him to step up and be that leader for you. How impressed are you with his performance?
I mean, really gutsy. I mean, especially to come back after the fumble, you know, I mean, and then the throw and catch there at the end was unbelievable. I mean, I was like in shock for about 5 seconds. But that's who those guys are. That's the way they practice. And, you know, I think for next year, this builds a lot of momentum for us. You know, we were kind of reeling a little bit in the first half, but a bunch of guys said, no, this is how we're going to play in the second half. And I think we found something here special in the second half.
I can sense some of the emotions. I know how much you love this team and how you feel about them. What's going through your mind right now?
Well, I just know that the last few weeks have been hard. You know, when you come off of that game, it's not easy. And, you know, the way things were kind of going in the first half, but we really responded in the second half and played really well. And so, you know, I'm just happy for these guys. They'll be able to enjoy this tonight. And now we got a lot of work to do in the offseason, but this team's got a chance to be really special.
Enjoy this one, Coach. Congratulations. Chris?
3 years ago, they beat Washington right here, and he was handed the whistle in the locker room from Urban Meyer. And so he comes back as a head coach for the first time and gets the win. You can tell the emotion.
And I think the reason you have emotion is because every coach, you go through winter conditioning and you go through camp and you try to build toughness, mental toughness, and then you hope you have it, and then until you see it on display, you don't know. And I think when you're down 35-21 at halftime in a Rose Bowl on a big stage and things are a little flat, he challenged him. You heard a bunch of guys made some decisions. This isn't going to happen. And then there's a proud father. He's proud. And I think that's where you could see some of the tears in his eyes. And he's happy for his guys to make plays.
And for Utah, disappointment.
Yeah.
This is a tough, resilient group. They'll be okay from this. There's so much to take away from this season. They win a Pac-12 championship. But, man, to lead throughout this game by a couple touchdowns 4 times, let it slip away, and to have Cam Rising's day end that way was disappointing for me.
Yeah, I agree. And you and I had a chance to be around Utah this year and talk to a lot of their players. The focus on Ohio State, it should be because of the win. But let's walk out of here tonight and have an appreciation for the Utah team, everything that they endured, the way they came together through adversity on and especially off the field, and came up just a little bit short, but did make it to the Rose Bowl and a magical season for Kyle Whittingham.
Well, what a tremendous spectacle, like so many before it here at the Rose Bowl. This game and absolutely everything. In the end, it's Ohio State coming from behind, winning it 48-45. Scott Matthews produced the game. Jeff Evers directed it. Thanks to Mark Amento and Mike Black in the booth and our entire crew. Always an honor to start a new year at this beautiful place, and we saw one we'll never forget today. Not over yet, though. All-State Sugar Bowl. Baylor, Ole Miss. Coming up next. So long from all of us at Pasadena.